Hey, good morning. Welcome back to my channel. Thought I'd give a little bit of a rundown on my, this is Jason. Pretty new to making YouTube videos at all. So I'll forget a lot of stuff. My video quality and audio might suck, but I think most of you people that care about the topic don't really care as much about the quality. But anyway, this video I thought I would do a little bit of an intro to my FJ40 Restomod project. It's a 1974 FJ40 Landcruiser. I got this when I was about 20 years old, something like that. Just kind of an impulse buy when I was a kid. I loved it because you could take the top off. At the time it had 33-inch tires. I bought it. It already had a Chevrolet 350 cubic inch engine in it. So it was a little bit more powerful than the stock Landcruiser straight six, but I had a really good time with it. Did a lot of mudding with it and tore a lot of stuff up, and that's one of the ways that I learned how to do mechanical things, other than just growing up on a farm and doing it. So it's interesting now as I go through this and redo it, I discover a lot of the crappy work that I did when I was that young. And when you're young in a hurry and you just don't know what you don't know, you do those kinds of things. And not that I'm a master at this point now, but definitely a lot better, pay more attention to detail and whatnot. So I thought I'd just kind of walk through the project overall, what I've got on it already, and what I plan to do with it. I haven't had this thing running yet, because I pretty much stripped it all down to the bare bones. Really the only thing stock that's remaining is the frame and the body, and the frame is highly modified, as you might be able to see here, because of the shock hoops for the King coilover shocks. But other than that, it's going to be pretty much all custom. I mean, even a lot of the interior things, the dash, the electronics, the wiring harness, all this stuff, it's all new. And so I've invested a lot of money in this vehicle, and some people might criticize me for putting this much money into something, but this has been one of those dreams of mine that I've had to rebuild this Landcruiser for many years. I remember being in college, and I'd have to think about something that made me happy so I could go to sleep at night. Otherwise my mind would just be all over the place and I couldn't sleep. And when I was in college, this was one of the topics that I used to think about a lot. And even after I got out of college, I used to think about just what am I going to do with this FJ40 Landcruiser. I really want to make it awesome. And people in my generation, we like Restomods quite a bit, and don't mind cutting up something that could be restored to original. That's just our personality and how we grew up. But what do you expect when you gave us Hot Wheels that had hot red, fire truck red colors, and had big blowers sticking out of the hood? We're little kids running around with those. Yeah, of course we're going to idolize that kind of stuff. But the older generation, they like a lot of the restorations, which I can appreciate as well. I can see both sides. So anyway, I'll take a step back and I'll just kind of walk through some of the things that I've already got on it, at least started on it, and what I've got cooking on it, and hopefully you enjoy the video. If you do enjoy it, please hit the like button, and I'd appreciate you subscribing. Thanks. All right, let's kind of walk through what I've got going on this Landcruiser. This is a new GoPro camera, so hopefully it does pretty good, and the audio is pretty good. I'm not a very experienced cameraman, so hopefully this goes well. I'll probably have to grab a light to kind of show you some of these things that I've done, just because it is a little dark in here in the shop. I'd like to get some LED lights at some point. And anyway, let's just start out here. So I'll start from the ground up. So right now these are 38-inch tires, or 38 or 39 Patagonia Milestar. So I got these from a guy that were new. Got a pretty good deal on them because I thought 38 a 38-inch tire might work well for the use I plan to do for this. I mean, technically with all the parts I'm putting on it, I could do rock crawling, but I also plan on doing some overlanding. I want to build an overlanding trailer, you know, maybe like a turtleback type of trailer or something like that, so I can pull around, do some expedition and overlanding stuff. So I thought 38s might be a happy medium to go along with the purpose. So 38-inch tires, front axle. This is a Dana 60 that I had custom built, so everything's brand new. Dana 60, I think it's a standard rotation housing. The tube is 3.5 inch diameter, 1/2 inch wall with Dana 70 outers, 35 spline chrome moly axles. This thing is a beast. It's amazing how heavy this front axle is. 456 gears. Anybody building a four-wheel drive needs to check out a gear ratio calculator, where you need to know what your engine operates at, what your transmission gears are, what your transfer case gears are, how big your tires are, what are your differential gears, all that stuff to make sure what you're building is going to fit the intended purpose. So I think I might put a link down below to that, and it's pretty handy. But I'll continue. Disc brakes on it. These are 8 lug Chevrolet 8 on 6.5 is the bolt pattern. Got Yukon locking hubs on it. There's probably a feature or two that I'm missing. High steer, as you can see, although I'll probably do a 3-link suspension later on, but yeah, I got a 3-link going on it. I need to probably leave out a little less detail for this specific video, because that would be an hour long if I went through everything. So I think I'll do a separate video for the axles and 3-link and all that stuff. But anyway, yeah, Dana 60 front. I put on Saginaw steering on the front here. I put that on when I was a kid and have redone it since. I'll get into some of the parts for that later. Heavy duty front tie rod on that axle. 3-link suspension, like I said. I've got 16-inch King coilovers, 2.5 inch diameter. So that ought to work pretty good. Moving around over here, this is a GM crate motor. It's a 383 HT 383 crate motor. So it's a stroked engine, kind of geared towards the truck market. I don't have my carburetor, or actually I'm putting EFI on there. Don't have that up there, but just kind of working on the geometry of everything. As you can see, it's pretty tight. I've tried to scoot the engine as forward as I could to keep my rear drive shaft at a reasonable length. And I'll probably do another video about geometry setup on that. But anyway, that engine dynoed at, I think, 330 horsepower, 440 foot-pounds of torque on just on the engine dyno, I believe. That's the specs that comes from GM. Behind that, I don't know if you can see that in there. I might get a light. Actually, I might be able to see it from inside. But the transmission, sorry guys, I'm moving around here. The transmission is a New Venture 4500, which is a 5-speed. There we go. That's better, yeah. 5-speed truck transmission, geared for 1 tons. And then you can kind of see that underneath there. That is a Atlas II transfer case. Let me get down below here and see if we can see that there. Yeah, Atlas II transfer case at a 3.8 low range. And so the transmission was straight from a GM rebuilder.
very expensive buying them that way. And then the transfer case I got from Advanced Adapters, who manufactures those. Also another very expensive piece of equipment. Here you can kind of see a little better look at the front link, and some of the mods that I've got going on there. You can see I plated the outside of the frame. I'll talk about some of the hoop mounting and that kind of stuff whenever I do some more specific videos. But you can kind of see underneath how I've got my cross member. I redid that cross member like 4 times. Luckily, there's a ton of information on the internet that I've learned from people, and some people do it differently. This is how I ended up. I'm pretty happy with it overall. You really have to take a lot of different variables into account when you're setting something up like this, you know, as far as the height and that kind of stuff, because it all works into your driveline angles that you got to be very cognizant of, especially if you're wanting to, you know, run your four-wheel drive rig down the highway at a rated speed. So right now I've got the rear axle, which is another Dana 60. This is high pinion, also has 35 spline chrome moly axles. The back is a true track. One another thing I forgot to mention about the front axle, that has a oh shoot, I can't think of it. It's got the manual locker, the aux locker. Yeah, can think of it. That has an aux locker. I still got to run the cable on that. So got lockers in front and rear. Disc brakes on the rear. I'll talk about that in a more specific video. These springs, which I think I'm going to stick with these springs, these leaf springs, these are from an FJ40, and I've seen where people have retrofitted those onto an FJ40, a little bit beefier, bigger, heavier duty, and so that's what I've got there. I got to relocate those springs a little bit because I don't know that I got enough room in between my fender well and the brake caliper to get my shocks. I'd like to try to put my shocks on the outside of the frame rails just to get bigger shocks that can allow for more travel, because I'd like to try to get as much travel and flex out of this thing as I can. I will be stiffening up the rear part of the frame quite a bit as I keep moving forward on the build, but I'd rather wait to do some of that stuff to when I got the body off. And working underneath the vehicle trying to grind and weld and cut is you know, frustrating. It just takes a lot of time. So there's that. Oh, damn, hit my damn car lift shut. Okay, so like I said, there's the rear springs. I've got a full roll cage. I bought that from Metal Tech. Pretty cool kit. You know, they kind of give you the pieces, and you really got to make it fit to how you want it. I'll probably take a look in from the back and show you that. But Metal Tech roll cage. I built the seat cradle myself. I've got Mastercraft Baja RS seats. These are pretty awesome. 5-point harnesses. Mastercraft 5-point harnesses. And then I got a Tuffy security console going on in there. Got a lot of interior work left to do. Got that dash storage. I think I got that from BTB products, but this thing lifts up like that. More storage. FJ40 Landcruisers aren't that big, so you need all the storage you can get. But these seats, they recline and slide, so they ought to work really well. Very comfortable. I Did It is the new steering column, which is tilt, which is pretty cool. I've got a removable steering wheel on there. So between that being a manual and a special cutoff switch I've got rigged up, shouldn't be anybody stealing this thing. Same thing on the rear axle, 8 lug. Oh, these are full float too on the rear axle, which is pretty cool. keep moving around here. I think this video is getting kind of long. So this bumper, rear bumper, is custom. I did all of this. The base is a 4x4. I'll do a specific video, but it's got provisions to put the tire, as well as either 3 jerry cans or a cooler in that, and they both swing out. I developed my own locking mechanism on that, so it's got a captive pin, spring-loaded pin back there, which is pretty cool. Just keep moving around over here. Bought those rock sliders from Metal Tech as well, so that's kind of what I'm working on right now. I plan on doing some custom tube front fenders and then custom tube rear fenders. I also want to do a custom roof rack, and I'll probably do it to where it bolts down to the top of this, but it can also be taken off of this support and put directly on top of that roll cage. So you could run topless with the roll cage, I think, which would be pretty cool. So like I said, I'm still working on you can kind of see this is what they call the B pillar. Comes down to here, the tub, and then I've finished up that frame mount. Now I've got to do the other C pillar frame mount. I've got the original gas tank, but I may put an auxiliary gas tank in there. Relocated the battery. A lot of performance parts on the engine. I'll go into more detail about that. But man, look at those cane coilovers. Whew, it looks awesome. So I haven't really got everything set up yet. I bought a quick lift system for the hood, so that'd be pretty interesting to install. I've already got all my engine parts. I've got a MSD fuel injection system. A lot of MSD parts on this. I've got everything to put it all together, and I'm kind of working on that, trying to get some of the other miscellaneous parts, because I want to get all the weight on the vehicle, you know, the fenders and all that stuff, because I want the front coilovers to be at where they're going to sit, so I can set my rear axle springs, leaf springs, where I want them, and I don't end up with something that looks real lopsided. Yeah, so right now you can kind of see a little bit dark, but I'm just getting this spot right here for plate, and then another bolt that goes up to where that C pillar is. That inside, to look at the roll cage and back of the seat cradle, that stuff. Let me get moved around here. Some light in here. So I've just got everything tacked in at the moment, and I built that seat cradle where you could remove it. I see you got this here, you can take that off, and then it kind of just bolts in, so you could remove the seats without doing everything and take it apart. Like I said, I just got it all tacked up right now to just make sure everything fits, and I'll do all the finish welding after I get everything taken apart. But there you can see the back of the seats. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I've got a lot of new interior parts that I'll be putting together videos on. So anyway, that's my general rundown for my FJ40 Landcruiser. I'm sure I forgot a lot of different things, but I plan on making several more videos as I finish up the project. I've been working on it off and on for about 1.5 years. So I love getting out here in the shop and working on this stuff, but it's cold as hell right now, so I need to get some insulation put in this shop so I don't have to dress up like the abominable snowman. But anyway, yeah, I've got several different pieces going on this, and hope you follow along on the build, and appreciate you watching the video. I'm sure most of you, if you're watching this, you like 4-wheel drives or FJ40 Landcruisers, and or just want to look at a cool ride. Glad you joined, and like I said before, If you like the video, please hit that button below, and I appreciate you subscribing. Thanks.